And we're recording.
Yay. Hello. So we are going to be talking today about motivation, why it comes, why it goes, why people feel like they have to wait for a certain time, that they have to start whatever it is they want to start, what holds us back. Just have a general discussion about mindset around that, and what we can do to just start, really.
Yeah.
This is my...
Sorry.
Go. Let me go.
When people try to make change, or they know that they want to change, but it can feel very overwhelming because they're like, first of all, what do I even do? How do I make that change? This is all too new to me, and it feels so distant. And then you start saying kind of excuses, which okay, maybe they're fair enough excuses. Like maybe you are a mother and you have a family and you're working, and so time is an issue for you. Sometimes these excuses are they're real.
Yeah.
They are barriers, but they are also just excuses, because sometimes you just need that bit of a push, and you just need a bit of that mindset shift to be like, okay, hold on, I'm just sitting in my safety blanket. I'm using these excuses to not actually force myself to make the changes. So hopefully this is just a bit of discussion, a bit of a pep talk. Is it?
Yeah, pep talk. Yeah, we'll give ourselves pep talk. Yeah. I need a pep talk too. We'll do the pep talk too. I think with that point as well, Elsa, I think the reason a lot of people put it off is because they think they need to do more than what they need. So it becomes this big thing, like on Monday I'm going to start, and by starting that means I'm going to, I don't know, I need to run for X amount of time every day, and I need to start my workout program, and I need to buy new gym gear, and I need to sign up for the membership, and I need to do my food shop, and I need to food prep, and I need to hit my steps every day, and I need to journal, and I need to write. It becomes this massive thing, which no wonder you're then like, oh, do you know what? I'm going to wait a little while and do that next thing that seems too much. And I think it's this whole idea where people get lost, the small and simple basic things that I actually think a lot of people sometimes roll their eyes at, because they think oh, it can't be that easy, but it actually is that easy. To start, your start could just be could literally just be I'm going to add in I'm going to add in 2 portions of fruit and veg, I don't know, with my dinner extra. Or your start could be, I'm going to walk to work actually instead of getting the bus, or I'm going to get off the bus a stop earlier, or 2. It doesn't need to be this huge thing. And then once you master a few things, of course, then you can add add stuff in.
I think with that's a good point, because doing everything looks more sexy, and it's more appealing, and it's more attractive, and it's oh, I'm going to turn my whole life around. But not everyone has the tools, the time, the resources, the effort to be able to turn their whole life around. Yeah. And you don't need to change every single thing that you do in order to see change.
No. And
it is that easy. Maybe not easy, but it's that simple. When you think about it, it is simple. It doesn't have to be difficult, and it might be hard for you and challenging for you to start with, because it is a change, and most changes are difficult, but it is simple, and it can be.
And turning your life around, just using that as an expression, it starts with one thing. Everything starts with one thing. It's not all at once. So breaking it down really helps as well. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm just trying to think, because when I have made life changes, made one recently, it seems so huge, so this, I actually had this conversation with someone as well recently, because I was before I did everything that I've done, I thought it was going to be massive, and I think it's the anticipation of it where you think it's huge. When I was actually doing the thing, it wasn't a big deal. I know I'm going a little bit off, but just
I get that.
Just even so it was this big thing about getting the flight. When I was at the airport, I was just at the airport. It wasn't that big of a deal. When I actually got on the plane, I just got on the plane and sat in my seat and put on Gilmore Girls. It wasn't, honestly, and then when I got here, I was oh my gosh, I would look at these people that would just move country, or would go off and think they were this alien, but they have got something that I haven't got, and that's why they're doing because I lack something. And then when you actually do it, I know, like, I know there'll be people that will think, oh, it's easier for you, or what. Like, it isn't. It is the same for everyone. When you actually do it, you're like, oh my gosh, this isn't. You just have to have the courage to take that step, which I think is, you can then apply that with life, with fitness, with health. Like, you look at these people on Instagram, or I mean, that's all bullshit anyway, but you look at people like, anyway, and you think they've got something that I haven't, because they're doing all of these things. And it's not, you just need to start small and you slowly get better. But then I suppose that's like, I mean, that can go off into anything, because that's like about like buying products, or like people, like companies feeling like wanting us to feel like we need something, or we're missing something, so we buy into it, so we keep going, like, and then the basics just get pushed aside.
I think what you're saying, like, when you're actually doing it, it's not that big of a deal, and you can put that in terms of, like, I don't know, going shopping and buying vegetables that you haven't bought before. It's not scary. Like, it's that simple as just buying it and then cooking it. There's so many recipes online. It's actually insane. Learning to cook with vegetables. And that's it. Simple, done. And then things like going to the gym, maybe, which I get can be more daunting. And even to be fair, right now, I don't know where it's just come from, because sometimes I'm fine when I'm at the gym. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I'm not going on that machine. I'm going to go upstairs in my little corner, use some dumbbells, when I could be doing that at home, which is stupid, because I'm paying to be at this gym to use the equipment. But the way it can make you feel, especially as a girl, I feel it can be scary. And I can't imagine for someone who maybe is in a larger body to have that maybe stigma and be aware of their body even more, entering a space where people are fit, people are lean, and people are like, they have muscle, to feel
but
like
with that, I get that, but with that, I think like that again can be a barrier, because sometimes you need to get out of your own head, because if someone is in a leaner body, that doesn't mean that they're going to be judging you if you're not in a leaner body. And also I think the whole idea of, like, again, like, I do understand everything you're saying. I do agree. I relate. Like, not relate. I agree with it. But also the getting out of your own head, because actually no one gives a shit about you.
No, I know. Yeah.
It's actually really freeing, because it's like, not. Just finding that balance. Like, you have to acknowledge that fear's there, and that is valid, and that is how you feel. But also being like, almost be tough with yourself in a way. It's like, oh my god, like, get over yourself, like, Maria. Like, no one's fucking looking. Everyone's worried about themselves. Like, who are you to like just going and, you know?
Like, no, I agree, because fear shouldn't stop you from doing what you want to do, especially when it's just other people's opinions of you. Like, say, I don't know, that's really true, and you shouldn't stop your own progress because someone at the gym might have an opinion about you. But I was just like talking about that with your life changes, although it does seem huge, but as you're doing it, you said that, I don't know, you're just doing it, like, it's not so big of a deal. But the anticipation beforehand, like going to the gym, the anticipation before going to the gym might feel like this massive thing, but when you're there, you get the workout down, you're like, okay, easy, done, go home. You continue with the rest of your day. So it's all that we overhype what's going to happen, this anticipation, this fear, this anxiety, and a lot of us just stop there because it's uncomfortable. But if you were to just keep going, you'd find that actually it's easier than you think it was. And then eventually you just keep doing it, and it becomes part of your habits and your routine. But don't let the fear and uncomfort stop you from making that first step, because that first step will be so important.
Yeah, definitely. Have you recently had time off from the gym, as in the last couple of weeks? Just because, you know, you said you felt like you didn't, like, you don't want to be, sometimes like you go through phases, because I just think when you stop doing stuff for a while, that feeds into it. Like, even stuff like I was in the apartment pretty much 5 days straight working, and then by the time the sick come out, I felt really anxious about going out. And I was like, this is because I've been in, like, pushing. I'm just saying, like, if you, for whatever reason, maybe you've had I'm just asking, I don't know if this is true, but say you've had other priorities, which I know you have, because you're so busy with uni and everything, and then the gym's like bottom of the list, but then you haven't gone for a few days, and then those old feelings start to creep back in, because it's like creature of habit, isn't it? So you go back to thinking how you, and then it becomes harder to do it again. Like getting that once you're in the momentum, it's okay. It's like when you stop, it's like
no, when I first came to uni, because I was working out at home, the first week I was like, the gym's there, I'm not going. But then since from like the second week, I've actually gone quite consistently, like twice a week, which isn't a lot, but it's what I can do at the moment, which is fine. Like I don't have a fitness goal. My goal isn't to improve on what I'm doing. It's not to get leaner. It's not, I would like obviously want to see some improvements with the weights that I'm lifting, but I'm not doing it to be most optimal, I'm just doing it because, one, I know exercising is good for me. Two, like it breaks up my day. Three, it makes me feel good, blah, 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 all these other benefits. And also, I've also started dancing a bit.
You just said 2 as if it's not a lot, but
no, but it
who can say that's not a lot? It is enough. 2, if you go twice a week, that's what, 8 times a month. That's what, 80. What's 12 months? Like 88. What's 88 and 8? Oh my gosh, showing myself up. I can't do that. Basically, it's like nearly 100 times in the gym over a year. Imagine like that compared to not doing it at all. Because I know this isn't you, but say if someone is watching this and can only go to the gym twice a week, and they think, what's the point? That's nearly 100 sessions. Or again, my maths is clearly not my strong suit, but like 100 sessions in the gym over a year. Like imagine that compared to the difference and the benefits of that compared to nothing, just because you think, I can't go 5 times a week, like so-and-so's not gonna bother.
No, that is such a good point, because so many people will be like, oh, well, I think maybe this feeds into the idea that you have to do everything and all of it, otherwise like there's no point in doing it at all. But no, like doing the smallest thing every day or doing a training session once a week is so much better than what you were doing. It's still improvement. It might not be the most optimal thing, but it's what you can do. So in your situation, it is the best thing to do. And I think as well with this whole like doing the optimal thing or whatever, like we're not athletes, like no. We're just you're just a human being doing the best that you can and wants to look after yourself as well as you can in that moment. Like, it's like when people go on about all the tiny details of, I don't know, like carbs and fats, different, like yes, of course, that all has a place depending on like the individual, but for the majority of people, like, I would go as far as to say everyone that would watch this video, they don't need to worry about any of that. No, because I like to think of myself as a fit, active individual. I do it like I love sports, I love to dance, I love to train, and I don't give a shit about fat and carb ratio. No, because you don't need to. This is the thing, like that's just an example. Or like little things like, what's my exact rest in the gym, or how many sets I'm doing. I'm a PT and I don't care. Like I know when my muscles are like I just I do it. So I think because it is just dressed up, as I said, it's more sexy to talk about these like little tricks and things that you can be doing. Like it just makes it look more appealing and more attractive, especially like in the diet industry, where people are like trying to sell their products or sell their diet because it feeds into their success, and it's not actually what matters. Like supplements, for example, you can get everything that you need from your diet, but many people will be like, I need to get this supplement, which is, again, it's just like, it's masking what's actually important. And it's making you believe that there's so much more to be doing and that there's very like specific things to be doing, when actually it's just so simple and basic. And it might not be as sexy, but you're going to be seeing results much more quicker. You'll be going to be living a healthier, happier life without digging into all these specific things and details, because they're not that important, especially for the general person who's just literally trying to be a little bit healthier and enjoy their life, because it's not a priority. So I think I agree with that. I think that is the main thing. If someone's watching and they're like putting off starting, hopefully it resonates with. I think they're probably thinking they have to do more than what they need to get started. And because it's not like you don't have to wait till you have all the time in the world to start becoming a bit healthier, because no one no one is going to have all the time in the world. Like, you don't have to dedicate your life to just being a healthier person. Like, you need to work on, like, you have a life to live. Like, you have work to go to, you have responsibilities, and that's so understandable. But no, I think with something like your health and your mental health and your happiness, it isn't something you should like leave behind. Like, it should be on the priority list, but just because it's up there on the priority list doesn't mean, again, you have to spend all your time on it. It could be a 10-minute meditation in the morning, only 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be your whole day, have to be aligned and around and revolving around improving because that's not realistic at all.
No.
Yeah.
Start small and get going. I think as well with like the getting started thing, you're never going to be ready and you're never going to be in a perfect situations if you are waiting for like that. But I sometimes get this question because I do like you one-to-one coaching, but then I do the 6-week, the Shape Up in 6 thing. That's like starting, and then people will go, oh, I really want to join, but on such and such a day I'm away for 2 days. As in, like, I'm like, okay, and I understand this isn't me laughing at those people for asking that, because I have done similar stuff in the past, like be like, oh, that will rip, and then you think, well, it runs for 6 weeks, so gosh, I was then going to say how many days it is, but again, my maths is so bad I can't work out. Basically 6 weeks, yeah. So if even if in those 6 weeks you had plans for 4 out of the 6 weekends, that's 8 days out of 6 weeks where you've got like. That's, oh man, I'm jealous of your social life, because I'd love to have plans every but like you've got all these other days where you can be doing other stuff to help yourself. Like, stuff is always going to come up. You're not going to get, like, if it is like trying to do like invest in yourself and doing a fitness program or something, you're not going to have a block of time where you're completely free. And also, you don't want that. You really don't want that. Like, why would you want to miss like your sister's birthday or like your best friend's wedding, or like just like a spontaneous night out with the girls when you feel a little bit crap and they're like, come on, let's go have some why do you want to miss that? Like, that's what you want to do. So there's always going to be stuff. So what we're aiming for is not like the perfect situation where you can start and hit everything on the head, and then when a social occasion comes up, it all goes to pot because you can't handle it. You only know how to do the right things when all of your environment is perfect. That's not going to happen. Like, you want to learn how to do the best that you can the majority of the time, so allow for all the other fun stuff too.
Yeah, because that's such a good point. Like, as soon as you start living your normal life, everything that you just learned will be irrelevant, because you haven't learned how to deal with, I don't know, social events and like buffets, for example, or restaurants or parties. Like, you haven't learned to deal with it and to cope with it, and all of a sudden you'll be feeling a lot of anxiety around it and probably a lot of shame and guilt, because you're like, oh well, I didn't do all these things before and now I'm doing them, and now I don't know how to deal because now I'm just going to gain weight and like the list goes on and on and on, and you'll just like start negatively sinking in this like hole. And it becomes horrible.
And then it plays into the thing where you feel like then you've failed, like you've failed at health, or you've failed at fitness because you want to enjoy yourself. Like, no, you haven't failed at all. Like, you're winning. Like, you're absolutely winning if you can do the best for you the majority of the time and enjoy your life and go out. And it's finding that balance. And like you've said before, like, it doesn't seem to get as much attention, like balance.
No.
A bit like
or it does, but it's not actually balanced. It's dressed up as like doing everything but doing a bit of everything.
It's balance, but balance is in like you journal, you meditate, you train. Like, it's like, okay, that's not balance. Like, balance is that, and then also like having one too many and ended up with like the head in a bowl for a night, or like, you know what I mean, or like last night I had sushi in bed. Like my dinner and watch Marvel, like that's balance. So I completely agree with that. Like live a balanced lifestyle, like drink your water. Like it becomes a bit
it's so like, this is the thing, like, it's so individual to absolutely everyone, and I think then comparison is such a big thing. Like, me and Maria, I was literally talking about how I can fall into the trap of comparing myself to other people in terms of like my success and me working with people and me starting my own business kind of thing. I don't know. I need to
Don't
stop
do
doing this.
that. You have started your own
I
business.
have to
You
stop.
have your own business.
Every
You don't need to do this. It is a real thing. You have a business. You work really hard. You're a nutritionist. You're amazing at what you do. Don't belittle it with this.
See, like, this is an example.
Virtual slaps to you.
I know.
We're not doing that to ourselves.
No, we're not. This is precisely what I'm talking about. Like, we compare ourselves and we're like, oh, well, because I'm not doing as much as she's doing, then like it devalidates. Like, no, what's the invalidates and devalues like your situation, because again it puts you into this perspective that you're not doing enough and what you're doing isn't good enough, and like you could be doing more, you should be doing more, and that just makes it so much harder to change and to stick to what you're doing, because you feel like there's no point in it, when there is. Just because someone else is doing more, it doesn't take away from what you're doing at all. And the same in, like, this is completely different, but in business terms, I think Emma says this a lot, but like, someone else's success doesn't take away from your success. Like, there's room for everyone, and just because you might not be doing as much as someone else, there could be something that you have that they don't have, because they're focusing, okay, maybe their priorities are getting a personal best at the gym, but you've got something else in life in a different domain going on that they don't have. So you can't take one section of someone's life and compare it to them, because your lives are probably so much more different. You probably have different goals. And again, it doesn't take away from your success in whatever you're doing just because someone else has a bit more money or is a bit fitter, has got abs, can run faster than you. All these things. Like, don't let comparison, again, be what stops you.
Yeah. I do think that maybe age and experience helps that a little bit as well. Like, just being, I feel like as like I've got older, I've realised that nothing is as it seems. So like, I definitely think like, especially about Instagram and stuff, there would have been a time I would have really bought into all of that. And like, I'm better now at, I just know, like, you, like, even if someone looks like they've got the perfect life, like, you have no idea what else they're dealing with behind closed doors, or another thing is what they have sacrificed to get there. So yes, they might have loads of money, they might be running around the world, like, and you think that's amazing. Like, they could have a shit relationship with their family. They could not have good friends. They could not have, you know, there's so many other things that people don't show. And also, they don't need to show. That's another thing as well. Like, I appreciate, like, there's stuff I don't share. And I know there's stuff you don't share. Like, we share together because we're best mates. We're not going to talk about it on a live. And that's completely okay. We don't have to do that. So I understand when people want to show their best bits, you just have to be mindful that, like, you don't know. You don't know what they've given up to be where they are. You don't know what they've sacrificed. You don't know what else is going on. And you know. And also with the business thing, another thing that really helps is, just taking it back to that just for you and me, but I have really got like more clear now of knowing, like, so we do these lives together. We both have, like, I know you don't do PT, but you're nutrition, you've like got loads of qualifications that I haven't got in regards to like, uni, your degree, or something. No, you're like ridiculously smart. You got like, but we do these lives together because I think you're amazing, and you're a friend, but also it's not a competition, because whoever I'm going to attract that would potentially want to work with me would for whatever reason would resonate with me, and vice versa. Like, whoever is like, oh, I really connect with Elsa, they wouldn't connect with me, and that's absolutely fine. That's why you have so many different people, because we're all different. So there's no competition, there's no, because whoever is called to work with you will work with you, and that's who you want to work with. Like, it doesn't, you know, and it just takes time.
I agree.
I think that you can do that in any area of life, though, because I think that, you know, the whole like success thing, like, it doesn't take away from your success. That was like when I was dancing, or, you know, like, because when you dance, like you just because someone else is phenomenal at like contemporary or whatever doesn't mean that you're not. That's how they dance it, and then you can dance it, and both look so different but both be incredible, and it's not a battle between who has the best style. You each have your own style, and you have to be the best you dancing that piece compared to someone. But again, that took me, I wasted the majority of my career thinking differently to that, which held me back, because it is, you know, it takes time, it takes effort to realize that.
I think when dancing becomes a career, I feel like that's when the thoughts are detrimental, because I don't know, because you feel like if you're not the best, then why are you even doing it? But if you're doing things just for fun, like it shouldn't stop you just because someone's better than you, because all you're doing it for is just for fun. Like I have to say this to myself because I'm part of the dance society, and just starting out, like I don't know, just over the last few years, because I haven't been dancing like properly, I've lost a lot of my like technique. Yeah, I can still dance, I know that, but I'm not where I was. And that can stop you, but it's so stupid because I enjoy dancing. I have the best time when I'm there, but I let it be a barrier to be like, oh, but I'm not even that good, like I can't really dance anymore, I'm not going to go. I'm not the best. I don't have to be the best to dance.
The best. Yeah, I know, I get it. I think I told you, but I did my first dance class on Sunday here. I did a contemporary class here. Oh, Elsa, I loved my life. It was the best hour and a half of my life, so much. And it felt so differently. It did feel differently because I'd released that pressure of being like, I'm going. And he, like the guy has a company, but I wasn't going thinking, oh, like there was a time I would have gone being like, I hope he thinks I'm good because I want to be in the company, or if he doesn't notice me or pick me up. And because that was just all gone, I was literally like a child, like watching all these dancers, like I just felt so amazed, like just being in a room with all these creatives. I loved it so much, and because it was just like I concentrated on like, how is this making me feel? I enjoy dancing this because it feels good. It doesn't matter how it looks in the mirror. That's fine. Also, just because we're talking about dancing, if anyone is watching this and does dance, do you follow Steph? She works for Amelia Thompson. She's one of her coaches. I'll send you her stuff because I love her. I started following her about, I don't know, a few months ago, and I speak to her now, and she actually was a performer as well. She trained and she's now started putting out content a few times about being a performer, and just how basically messed up it was, the stuff that would be said to you at like dance. I mean, I could do a whole God knows how long that line has been. We're talking about the messed up things that have been said in the past for training.
We so should go there one day.
We actually should. And if we do it, I think we should ask Steph to do it too, because she started doing these posts just about like, honestly, it's just so good. So it's just, I know this is completely off topic, but if anyone who's watching this is a performer or has been a performer or danced or whatever, I think it's Steph at ETPHD coaching.
Steph_ETPHD coaching.
Yeah. And she's funny. She's funny. She does some funny reels. But yeah, that's a dancer sidetrack, but we'll get back. But
I think this relates in like letting your ego slide, like letting all these things like, oh, I'm not going to be perfect, I'm not good enough, like, oh, but like just these little excuses that we make up about ourselves to stop us from just making the change. Because we might do it and fail a few times, like we might not have the best session, we might not know how to lift a weight at the gym, we might not know how to cook these new meals and what things to buy, but that's fine. Like that doesn't mean it should stop you, because if that's what your goal, if that's where you want to be, why would you can't put it off because you don't know how to do it. That's the whole point. You're learning how to. That is literally the whole point.
I wrote literally for my email that's going out this week is literally about how I honestly sucked at everything when I started it. Like I've like everything you start at, like it's okay to be crap at, like you're a beginner, it's so okay to be and actually it's so freeing and amazing to be a beginner because there's no pressure. Because if you go wrong, you can be like, I'm just learning. So you need to like reframe how you see being a beginner and finding stuff different. Like, okay, I find the gym really challenging. It's because I'm so new to it and I'm learning. So it's only going to get easier, rather than why can't I do this? And
something actually I remembered that we were talking about, like comparing ourselves to other people who are more successful. You know how you were saying sometimes we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and they might have certain, like, I don't know, things that they are dealing with that we don't know about. But then also some people just are living their best lives and they are successful, and that still shouldn't bring us down, but it should be something, be like, why can't we be inspired by that instead? Like, why can't we change our mindset and be like, okay, so she does have a family, she does have a job, and she's able to work out and cook good meals. Like, that's incredible, rather than being like envious and be like, oh, I can't do what she's doing, I can never be where she is. It could be like, okay, you might not be able to have exactly what she has, but it shouldn't bring you down. It could be something to look up to, rather than like this feeling of envy and jealousy. And it's the same with like business and success, or any aspect of your life. Like if someone's doing better than you and you feel like that's a goal of yours, but it feels way too distant, or I don't know, so a lot of the time, like you can feel envious and jealousy for whatever reason. But when I start feeling those feelings now, I'm like, okay, check in with yourself, because why? Is it because that's what you want? Because that's possible for you too, if that's what you really want. Like,
yes,
have that self-awareness, like be reflective. Don't just take the jealousy firsthand and the envy, because they are quite negative emotions to deal with, and it either brings you or the other person down for no reason. Like you don't need to.
Yeah, ask yourself what you can learn from them. And also chances are they've probably been doing it so much longer than you anyway. Do you know what I mean? So you're like, okay, it's just, they've just had more practice. So just keep going.
I get that. But it's also like, okay, so what can I start doing now, rather than trying to explain their success? Okay, yeah, but maybe they have had like a good 10 years before you, and that is a valid thing. But I don't know, just put the focus on yourself. Okay, if that's where I want to be, then I can get there. This is what I need to, this is where I can start. This is my starting point. I accept that I'm going to fuck up, because that's inevitable. I accept that I'm not going to be perfect, because no one's perfect. We're not robots. But yeah, it's making small changes and being consistent with it.
Yeah. What helps as well, like you just said, so if you look up to those people, if you're having a day where we spoke about this just before we recorded, but if you're having a day where you're not sure what to do, feeling a bit down, like either ask yourself like what the best version of yourself would do, or if you're struggling with that because you're not sure what that looks like for you, think of someone that you admire, think of someone who inspires you, who has a life that you like are striving for, and think, okay, what would they do in this situation? Like what would Elsa do right now? Like I think she would tell me to do, like, I'm going to do that, and then follow through with that and do it. And that can help, because the more you do those things, you then become that person. And another thing is, you already are that person. You just haven't got that belief yet, because you haven't built up enough evidence to prove to yourself that you are that person. So you can. That makes sense.
Oh, hold on, it's broken up a little bit.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
What was it?
I don't know my connection, but it's just broken up a little bit. But now I can hear you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Asking yourself like this, I've got really into this, that you are in a film and you are like the main character, like you are the main character of your life. So how are you going to show up for yourself today, like if this was a film? Like I took myself out on a Saturday on a date. It's the best date I've ever been on, which says a lot because I was on my own, but I'm obviously clearly a fantastic
on Saturday
date
as well.
So on my own. And on your own?
Yeah.
So I took myself out on a date. I was like, right, I'm going to go. There was an area in Dubai I wanted to go to. A friend had said it was really nice. And this was, like I said, how I had earlier, I said 5 days in, working from the apartment and from this particular area. So by the time Saturday came around, I knew I needed to get out, but I felt like, I don't know if I want to. And I felt so nervous. So I got myself all worked up. I was like, I don't know if I can get a taxi. I don't know if I can get there. I don't know where I'm going. And I honestly could have sat in the apartment on my own. And I was like, stopped and was like, look, if this was a film and I'm trying to be the best version of who I am, and this is the main character, like, is my main character going to sit in this apartment too scared to go out? Like, no, she's not going to let her anxieties get the better. She's going to go out. So I swear to God, I like eat, pray, love vibes. It's like, you're an eat, pray, love. I was like, come on, she's going to explore, she's going to be an adventurous. So I got out and I forced myself, and I actually felt like I was acting a little bit, like, but I needed that to get out. And then by the time I did it, I showed myself, oh, of course I can get in this taxi, and of course I can find my way around, and of course I can go and have a coffee and read the book on my own. And so then it was like eat, pray, love, rather than, I don't know, Maria vegging out watching Netflix just in a random room. Like, it was like, and then I felt so much better afterwards. So I've got really into that, like just trying to be like, you need to show up for yourself. It's your life. You get one life. You're the main character in it. How are you gonna make this the most exciting film you possibly could live? And we know it's like your time. Of course I have days still watching Netflix, and that's absolutely fine, but when like opportunity comes up to push yourself out of your comfort zone and to challenge yourself and to go somewhere new or do something different, try and challenge that.
Yeah, I like, a good point is sometimes you just get caught up in all the beforehand, like again, this anticipation, like we build it up so much, we get caught up in little decisions. Like sometimes for me, I can spend, I don't know how, usually I don't care about the way I look, anything. It could be really easy to pick an outfit, get on with my day. Sometimes I could be in my room for an hour being like, I don't actually know what I want to wear. And then that stops me from getting on with my day. And it's like, that decision wasn't even important, but it stopped me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just getting caught up in these little things that really do not matter. And having awareness of that, so you can stop yourself and be like, hold on, you're doing this thing again. This isn't even important. Don't waste your time. Get on with it and then go.
Yeah, definitely. No, very true. Have you got any other little points or anything you want to?
I feel like there was just
advice.
Yes, I do actually. The language that you speak, the language that you use when you speak about yourselves and when you're making the change. Because if you're saying, "Oh, I'm not that kind of person. Oh, I'm not fit. Oh, I'm unhealthy. I am lazy." Like if you're still talking, if you still speak about yourself in that way and using that language, it's going to make it 10 times harder to change. Because if you're stuck, you're creating this identity for yourself, and because you have the identity, then you're going to stick with the behaviors that reflect the identity. But if you are open to change, like you have to be open and accepting of changing and be like, okay, again, it's thinking who you want to be and using that language and be like, yeah, I am fit, I am healthy, yeah, I can do this, rather than focusing on all the things that you can't do and all the bad things that you think about yourself, because that will keep you there. That mindset will keep you there and will stop you from changing.
And also think, because when people say, so when you reaffirm these things to you, I think it can help as well to pick things that are true. So when you see people, they're like, just say like, I am beautiful, I am whatever, like, and I don't think that really helps if you're not feeling like it's. I think it's better to pick like qualities. So like, I am capable is one that I come back to all the time. Like, I am learning, I am trying, I am doing my best. Like, I have a able body that allows me to go. So sometimes you can find things that actually resonate, they are true, to help you follow through with doing what you said you're going to do, rather than just being like, I am really fit, I am like that. For some people that actually might work, so I'm not knocking that. If you feel like it works to be like, I am like an athlete, or because that actually used to help me sometimes train in the gym if I had a really hard session, like, come on, you're a fucking athlete, like you can do this, like in a jokey way. But if you're not really feeling it, it can actually then leave you feeling more disheartened and even sometimes like worse about yourself. So think about, I think maybe it's fine, but I am capable and I am trying and I am learning are 3 really good ones to come back to when you're like, so if you are in the gym, you're starting to feel a bit uncomfortable and you're unsure of a new piece of equipment, you feel like people are looking at you, like, just take a breath, like, I'm learning, I'm new at this, everyone started at this point, like, take a breath, figure out this machine, or ask someone how to help me with the machine. I love chatting about stuff like this.
Yeah, I think this has been a good talk. This has been a good, there was a good few points, and I hope, I don't know, if people were stuck in a rut and they just needed some sort of motivation kind of, and clarity, rationality, like to just kick you up the bum and be like, yes, okay, I can do this, because you can, everyone can, whatever it is that you want to achieve. Don't focus on other people, focus on yourself. Don't get disheartened about things that you can't do or that you're not perfect at doing, because no one's perfect.
It doesn't even exist. It doesn't even exist.
Like, what even is perfect?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's everything from me. I don't think I had anything else to put in, really.
No, I think I'm happy with everything that we covered. If it helped anyone or they enjoyed it, like, let us know. Just send us a message or comment or share the video if you think someone else would benefit, or and then we'll be back next week.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.